Alright guys, so a couple of weeks ago, I parked my E39 here under the open sky for about half a day, okay? And it was lunchtime that I managed to go and re-park it under the shade. It was lunchtime, but it was a very hot morning. And as I got into the car, I noticed that this cubby hole here was literally melting. The trim, okay, of the slot next to the handbrake, and that was my first-hand experience of how BMW plastics from this era, late 90s up to early 2000s, don't stand up well to severe sunlight. Okay, now then of course, you see, so the thing is that all this while, right, even with my other cars, I always have this practice of wherever and whenever possible, parking the cars under shade. Okay, I'm actually one of those type of drivers, motorists, that will take the extra effort. I don't mind walking a few extra meters. I don't mind paying a couple of extra ringgit for shaded parking. All right, but of course, see, sometimes you don't always have the luxury of shaded parking. There are just times where you have to go to attend to certain events or chores at places where shaded parking is not available. And what are you going to do about that, right? You can't do anything about it. So there will be times where you just have to bite the bullet and leave your car under the mercy of our hot sun. It is therefore useful in our climate to have your car protected by good window films, good tinting, because you see, the thing is that the tint therefore helps you reject some solar heat, and therefore maintains, it prevents the the temperature of your interior from rising so high as to degrading the plastics in your car. Because at the end of the day, right, it is heat is the main killer for everything. Heat accelerates the mechanical wear and tear of your car. Heat also accelerates the degradation of all your interior trim elements. Alright, so recently Bobby got his XC90 tinted with GlasTec films, and he's giving me some good feedback about the product. So right now I'm headed to our clubhouse, Wern's Auto House, to have my E39 here tinted with the same set of film as well. Alright, so my E39 is here at Wern's Auto House, getting GlasTec film installed. So recently Bobby had this Omega range film installed in his XC90. I'm going one step down and putting Alpha into my E39. Okay, so with the thing about installing tint in a car like the E39, the installers have to be of good workmanship, because as this car is not exactly new, and all this installation, right, of tint films involves removing the door panels. So yeah, that is something that they need to be very careful of, because I've not opened these door panels before, so I don't know if there are any clips inside that are broken. Yeah, so gotta pray for that. Alright, so the time now is just past 11. Let's see how long it takes for the installation process. Okay, meanwhile, can enjoy my cup of coffee here at the customer lounge. Okay, so that's a very thoughtful touch to put this cloth here to protect the dashboard from all the glue and water dripping in. And you see our friend here, he's very thorough in ensuring that the cloth goes in all the way to the gaps to protect the dashboard as much as possible. Hey, thanks bro. Thanks. So yeah, cleaning the interior of the windscreen. The windscreen has to be absolutely clean inside to ensure that the tint properly adheres to the surface. Okay, so the tint film is now being installed into the car. Okay, this is gonna be a very lengthy and meticulous process. Okay, and guys, if those of you who have watched recently my video of the Wajah, right, you would have seen that at that time when I had my Wajah's windscreen replaced, what they have done is, and I was unable to film that, was they actually had changed the they had put laid the windscreen there on that table, tinted the windscreen here before it was installed into the car. So that really helped them save a lot of labor work. So this one, because of, you know, you have to, of the tight space and all that, installing tint on onto a car, that one takes a bit more work. Let's see up close. Let's see up close. See, it's pretty good. Good job, bro. So guys, you see that scoop is what he uses to drive all the air bubbles out. And yeah, I know that all those trim there not in the best of condition. That one maybe maybe later at a later stage where I got a bit more money, that will fix all those re-trim all the roof lining and all the pillars and all that. So alright guys, let's have a look. This now the windscreen is tinted. This is not. Look at the difference in brightness. Let me come to this side, close the driver's side door. Okay, not so obvious now, right, from this angle. But you can, as you can see, right, even in this relatively limited lighting, we can still see the inside. But let me come in and view from the inside of the car. Alright, pretty good. As you can see, the F30 there, you can see the number plate of that car fairly clearly. Bro, ini auto power punya stiker saya mau punya tau. Ayah hai le. Thank you. So guys, as you can see, the tint, now the rear window film, okay, is being cut to the exact shape of the rear windscreen, even to accommodate the third brake light as well. Alright guys, so the rear windscreen has just been tinted. Now the work is progressing to the doors, and so the good thing about the E39 is that they don't need to remove the entire door cut to tint the windows. All they have to do is just to remove this top trim piece, alright, that was formerly here, and also this this pillar piece here, which you recall from one of my first videos of this car. I actually gutted the sunshade out of this trim piece, and now it's just an empty cover here. One stumbling block though, this power window is faulty, so this particular window I am going to have the power window repaired before I tint it. But this triangle window can tint first, no problem. Okay guys, so here you can see the tint is being cut. So you see the shape of the window film here. Alright, this is the front door, this is the rear door. Okay guys, so here the tinting job is, well, almost complete. Okay, I can illustrate the difference with this window, because the main window here is untinted, this one is, so you can see the difference. And so from the inside, okay, at least here we can still see, the inside of the car. You can still see the interior of the car. Let me just step inside. I would guess so. Wrong answer. Very nice. Yeah. Okay. From the inside, you can still see the exterior pretty clearly. Okay. And let's drive the car out and park it under sunlight and see how is it like, huh? Alright guys, so here is my E39 tinted and under the sunlight. So from here you can see, well, the mirrors, the glass is darker, okay, but you can still see the interior of the car from up close. Here is the untinted window, this is the tinted one. You can see a bit of difference lah, okay. So, but here you can see, right, it's still clear enough for me to see through the dashboard. And from the inside, just step in. Okay. You still you're still able to see through outside. Okay, right. So it's been 2 days since my E39 here was tinted. All right, and with me here is Eric, representative from GlasTec, who will be able to better explain the selling points of this film better than I do lah. Okay, so I know this is a pretty good film. He has explained to me some of its benefits. I get it, but of course he, working with the product, he understands it better. So he's going to talk to me about what these films, how these films, what you call that, what are their unique selling points over the competitors lah. Okay, so basically, right, this is Alpha film. This is Alpha range. So Alpha is the second highest in your range, right? There is Omega right at the top.
Yep.
And Omega is featured in, installed in Bobby's XC90. So do watch his video on that.
Yep.
Right. So the Alpha range, typically at this price point, okay, that the Alpha range, like my 5 Series here, what is this one is going about 2,000 ringgit.
2,000 plus.
2,000 plus, yeah. Okay. Then of course, if you add the security add-ons, it will be at about 3,000.
Correct.
All right.
Yep.
Now, so the question is, right, with regards to this Alpha range and its performance,
yep,
what are its advantages over similarly priced competitors?
Basically, what we did differently with this technology is the previous this range of product, we call it a nano ceramic type.
Okay.
Basically, the general construction of it is actually you have a PET baseline.
Yeah.
Then on top of it, you will have 3 to 4 layers of functionality.
Now, I interrupt you for a while. The PET baseline, that would be the plastic lah.
Yeah.
Right.
Generally, people know it as a plastic lah.
So that is this PET baseline is present in all films, correct?
Yes. Every single film that you can see out there will have a PET. That's the base of it.
Yeah. So your secret would then be what you lay over the PET, isn't it?
Yes. And on top of that, what we do better is we take that 3 or 4 layers.
Yeah.
We compress it and make it into one.
So typically the films on the market, they have several layers.
Correct.
Over the PET base.
Yes.
And these layers are what? They are made of, they are chemicals sprayed over the film.
Yeah.
Right? So they spray multiple layers.
Yep.
And GlasTec sort of like compresses all this.
Yes, and make it into one.
Into one layer.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So that gives us the advantage. Immediately, what you will notice is because of the less layer, our film is very clear. Because of the light entrance have less distortion.
Okay, correct. I get what you mean. Because the thing is that every layer adds distortion to the light traveling through the film.
Yep.
Okay.
So now when you look outside, you can see it's extra clear.
Yes.
We compare it before we put our old film, which is an old technology with multiple layer, with this new film side by side in the same car. When we look at it, we will be, wow, this is really clear.
Okay. Right. Yeah, actually, recently when you because my Wajah, I changed my front windscreen, right?
Right.
So the front windscreen, now my Wajah's front windscreen is also on GlasTec.
Yep.
And I do notice a difference in clarity that I did not have before. Because previously, my previous Tint, right? Let's say like when at night, right, I can see a double image of people's taillights.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one does not. Yeah. Okay.
And the next advantage that we have, what we notice is when we compress all the functionality layer into one, the film tend to react and work faster.
How do you mean react and work faster?
For example, when we say faster, for a normal user, you won't notice it.
Yeah.
Okay. But when we put it into a lab test in a heat lamp, because we record the heat temperature rise by seconds.
Yeah.
So when we look at the seconds, it's actually work faster like 10 to 15%.
But so, in terms of blocking out the heat,
correct.
But
disperse the heat.
Or dispersing.
Yeah.
What is the difference between dispersing?
So when we compare that, it's very simple.
Yeah.
You will put 2 subject film side by side
Yeah.
with two different thermometer
Yeah.
with the same heat source.
Mm-hmm.
Then you will look at the temperature rise.
Okay.
You will see one rise slightly faster.
Okay.
The other one will rise slower.
The one that rises slower is better.
It's actually better, yeah, correct.
Right. So
from there we will know that this film is actually working much faster.
But how is it that a film can work faster? Because your film is there, it's supposed to be like, you know, your sunlight come, it hit the film, it should block. There should not need to be a reaction time, right?
Yes, because of there's a chemical inside there. For this type of film, it's chemical and nano ceramic mixed together. So it will not just block the heat, but it will some sort like have a chemical reaction to discharge the energy.
So okay, but the thing is that right now you raise an interesting point. You have you say you have chemicals inside the film that react.
Right.
Will these chemicals degrade over time?
Yes. That's where you have a warranty for the film.
Oh.
So generally in the market, when we talk about the cheaper range of similar technology film, generally we call them the Korean film. Those are the similar type of film with the older generation that they have few layers.
Yep.
What they do is they will have deployed less chemical into it.
Yep.
So when you put it on your car, it will exactly like the US made film in the beginning.
Yeah.
But it would, like what you say, degrade much faster.
Yeah.
That means over the time, like 6 months down the road, you will notice, how come my film is not working anymore? Not as good as before.
Yeah.
It's not because of the sun get heater or hotter, but because of your film is, you know, not working as good as before.
Because the thing is very logic, when there is a chemical reaction involved, right, in the process,
right,
I would expect there is bound to be a certain degree of degradation.
Yes.
You know, somehow or rather, it's just a question of whether degradation happens faster or slower.
Correct.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. But what other you know, uniqueness does your film offer over the competition?
Basically, the clarity. Then the reacted faster.
Yep.
And of course, more stable because of the compression of the chemical plus the nano ceramic all together.
When you say more stable here, meaning?
That means the heat dispersion energy level. Again, this you will be able to see it when you do it in the lab test.
Yeah.
So the curve of the line will be very linear, going up slower, and then it will give you a form of unity on that. So from there you will see this film actually work very stable, as stable almost like you are using a metallized film. So that will what that advantage will give you is when it works stable. Just now you touch base on a point where you say it will degrade, right?
Yep.
It will degrade also, but because of the unity form of it, the degrade rate will be smooth and it will give you a longer lifespan. You get what I mean, right?
Okay. So eventually, the film will not perform as new, but it's just that you have a longer time frame to enjoy the film at its optimum performance.
Yep. Our rate of degradation, right, is actually every year not lower than 2 to 3%. That's all.
Oh, okay. So means that what, after 10 years you still have about 85 to 90% of your film?
Yeah, somewhere around that.
Okay. So that time when you were explaining to me, right, you also touched about this heat dispersion and heat rejection. But what is the difference? I mean, you have your film, because typically when you talk about window film, it's reject heat, you just want to like block off the sunlight. That's it, isn't it? What else is there to
Well, basically in tinting film industries, the heat source is actually the sun radiation.
Correct. Yes.
So you can have a lots of scientific way of dealing with them.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So generally, if you have a dyed film, dyed film is just you put color on it.
Yeah.
So that won't block much heat, but it will give you a very good shading effect.
It blocks out the visible.
The lights that comes in.
But it doesn't do.
Didn't do much about the heat.
What about ultraviolet and infrared?
That will depends on the general chemical that they put in. If they have the ultraviolet inhibitors in it, then you will have a very good ultraviolet. because you can't see ultraviolet.
Yeah.
Okay, but it will actually protect you. So let's go back to that. You can actually do a lot of things with it. You can dye, then you can have chemical like this to react. Then that means you can absorb, and then you can disperse. Then you will have some metal layer to directly reject.
Metal layers.
Correct.
Okay.
So it depends on what type of a technology or the material that you deploy in your film, and how you put them work together, whether you can synergize them, or sometimes you can put the thing together but they won't work at all. Okay, we try many combinations. That's how we get our product today. So in terms of heat dispersion, the general advantage of it is actually when you have a car parked under hot sun. Okay, we always say that you park your car under the hot sun, you go into it, what you do, you switch on your aircon. Then if you don't have heat dispersion properties, you will have to wait long time. We're talking about minutes, okay? But if the film works very well, it will disperse the heat within seconds. Okay, our old technology is about 45 seconds. Okay, for our improved version of the Alpha 2.0, we managed to achieve somewhere around 30 seconds or 25-ish.
Wait, these seconds here, you're saying this?
Going into the car, you switch on the aircon.
Okay, and
then the cabin will feel cold.
Oh, so the time it takes from the cabin to drop from a certain temperature
to feel comfy lah.
So in your case, right, does it mean that heat dispersion is how effectively the film enables heat to escape?
Yes. Yeah, that's a better word.
Okay. Because I get you. Because right, when you park your car under the sun, you can have very good heat rejection. To reject say 60%, 70% of the heat. But that 30-40% that passes through still comes into the car and still gets trapped into the car. So when you get into the car, now what you want to be able to quickly eject the heat out of your car. So heat dispersion is how your film allows the heat to quickly escape from your car.
Layman terms.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, that's a very good way to explain that. You're doing a better job than me.
Okay lah. So because this is something that I never thought about, because I always thought tinting film, right, is about you block off the sunlight, that's it. That has always been my conception. I never thought about how the film plays a part in letting the heat out of the car. But actually I have to share with you, driving this car for 2 days, right? Excuse me, I need to stop aside to answer the phone.
Sure.
Alright, so sorry for the interruption, guys.
No problem.
Okay, so where were we at?
You're saying that 2 days with your car?
Oh yeah, 2 days with my car. I noticed that now, right, when the sunlight hits me, I no longer feel I really don't feel the heat so much on my skin anymore.
It's like a bit warm, right?
Yeah. So, and of course, as I mentioned earlier in this video, right, BMW plastics from this era, they are not very friendly to our sunlight. So actually that day, right, I mentioned this to my audience earlier, but just to tell you, this part here, this plastic here, that day I parked under the sun for just half a day, right? It was melting, it literally was melting. So that one, right, I quickly stepped up. I was like, okay lah, maybe tinting, I was thinking maybe it's 3 months, 6 months down the road. Cannot lah. This one have to, because most of the time when possible, I try to park this car under shade. That helps. But you not every day can park under the shade. Sometimes unavoidably you have to park this under sunlight.
That will actually breaks a lot of the interior, like your leather. Because the film, if it gives you a very good UV protection. Basically, the UV did the destroy things, right? So it will protect your car interior.
Because last time, right, when tinting films first came to the market, right, I always thought that it was like a very vain thing, it's like people scared of sunlight. But after a while, right, I start to learn that these things it's not about protecting ourselves. I don't care. I'm not worried about the sun hitting me. But it's like when the sun hits up the cabin, right, wow, the cabin will degrade very fast. And so
though I think people who regularly park their cars under the sun, it is worth their while to invest in a good tinting film to protect your interior, because as your cars age, right, and as a lesson that I've learned owning this BMW, this 15-year-old BMW, keeping your car mechanically sound is no problem, because all these mechanical parts are constantly available. But if your interior trim falls apart, as your car ages, you will have a headache sourcing for replacement. So it is a worthwhile investment to, pay for shaded parking, pay for good tint, and try to protect your interior from the sunlight. So anyways, thanks for appearing with us, and
thanks for your time, Con.
No worries, it was a pleasure talking to you. I learned a bit about window tinting today, and yeah, hope you guys found this video useful as well. Whether or not you are going to install GlasTec doesn't matter, but this I believe some of this knowledge is important. This is important knowledge for you guys as you look for a tinting film for your car.
Yeah, it is.